today what we're going to do is we're going to build a harness, a standalone wiring harness for Toyota Camry, and this will work for 97 to 99. Some early 2000s it will also work for as well, but that's because it's a split year, and some late 99 sometimes this will not work for. It all depends on your computer. If you guys remember, we only had the one plug that went to the computer on the 97 to 99, the blue plug, which can sometimes be white, and the white plug, the rectangle plug. So what we're going to do today is we're going to show you how to build the harness. Now this one is more trickier than the 92 to 96. So again, I have all my soldering utensils, I have a pair of wire cutters, I have an X-Acto knife, I have wire strippers, which are right here. I have my propane torch, and I have red and black wire. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to eliminate the wires from each plugs we don't need, and then I'm going to fold the positives one way and the negatives the other way, so that way you guys can see which ones you need. So it's pretty easy actually. Okay. For your white rectangle plug, I'm going to come up close to the camera. Zoom in, focus. The black with a yellow wire, black with red wire, and black with red wire are all positive. Your green and your brown are negatives. Just like that. So these three are positives, those two are negatives. That is it for this plug. Let's move on to the blue / and or white plug that you guys have. This one here is actually really easy. It's only 4. Now, a lot of these guys are asking me, how come you have so many grounds? How come you have so many positives? And the reason for that is, you know what, I've had it less, but I find that sometimes it has problems. So I've tried it a couple different ways. I've done a lot of testing, a lot of trial and error. I've gone to derbies in my car, ran like crap the whole time. I've gone to derbies in my car, ran fantastic, because I just added a wire back to my harness. So that is why I have as many wires as I do in my harness. Would it benefit me to have less? Not really. Would it benefit me to have more? I don't think so, because everything that I have is what I think I need, and it's been working great for me. So we are done this one. This is the back side of the blue / white plug. Your red with the blue line and the 2 silver dots is positive. The blue and the brown below it are negatives, and the brown on the opposite side is a negative as well. So these three go together, and this one is positive. Now, I really don't see a downside to running a couple extra negatives, because the better you ground stuff, the less chance there is of it actually arcing back through it. So that's why I have so many grounds inside these things, because the more grounds, the better chance it is that there's not going to be a shock that overloads your system. So there's going to be one wire in this one that I'm not going to hook up. And the reason for that is when I was doing all my testing and tuning, I was finding that one of these cars was backfiring a lot. And the only way to make it stop backfiring was I had to ground this wire. So every harness I've ever built has left this one wire just kind of hanging down. And just in case anybody that messages me that has problems, I tell them to ground it to try to see if that will fix the issue. But I've only ever had one person that I've had to tell to ground that, so I always just leave it, but I actually don't ground it just to make sure. So now we're at the top plug of the computer. Again, super easy. The 3 top plugs are positive. So you have the 2 blacks with a yellow stripe, and then the green with the 2 silver dots is positive. And then on the side here, the green right above the open hole, and the second one from the bottom is negatives, and then this one at the very bottom corner I leave open. I leave it open because if your car starts backfiring, I tell people to ground that. So that is it. That is all the wires you need to cut out of your harness. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to strip all these wires down, and then we're going to start soldering. And then once you start soldering, then you start electrical taping. And then right after that, you can take it outside and test it up. So, did those 3. Now, this is how I do this. Everybody can build it their own way. This is how I do it. Take these 3, and I wrap them up, just like this. I do all my positives first, and then I do my negatives last because, I don't know, that's how I want to do it. Because then I won't get confused and accidentally hook the wrong ones up. Oh, I need to get that paste out. Just put a little bit of the paste on. Every harness I've ever sold has been soldered. So the only one that I did not solder was actually the first one I built, and that one, actually the first 1 or 2 I built, and those were all for myself in the testing and tuning stages because I wanted to make sure this thing was good. All my friends started running this harness this year, and we've had some problems at the beginning, but that's why I've added some of the wires back. But every harness that I have sold to anybody or has been shipped out of this house has been soldered. just like that, we now have all three of these soldered together with just one black, one red wire coming out of it. And now all we have to do is put electrical tape on these and join them together. But I just had a buddy pull in the driveway, so I'll be right back. So we're back. We have to strip the ends of all the wires of the plugs. So all I do is just strip them out. I get about maybe an inch of stripped wire off the end of each one. So when I was making these, I tried to make them all in a group, right? So I'd make like all of them in one night and then send them out as I got them. So I'd probably build 10 in one night. If you guys still don't feel comfortable making your own harnesses, just gotta find my electrical tape. I can still make harnesses for you and ship them to your door. I'm gonna lower my prices. I'm going to say $100 shipped right to your house, but I do need the plugs shipped to me so I can have a stockpile of plugs to make sure they're still shipped out. I understand that not everybody feels very comfortable with electrical, and I understand that's why a lot of guys go to carbureted, but I'm still willing to make the harnesses and ship them out. It will include all shipping costs from me, so you mail me your old plugs, which I don't know how much that is, but if you put it in a really small box, it's usually pretty cheap to mail them. And then I build them, and I'll mail them back, and every time I mail them back, you will get a t-shirt with the order, free of charge. Just, I include that in the cost of my harnesses as well. And if you guys want, I can include my Toyota Camry solid motor mount as well. I sell those for $80 unwelded, but it goes together unbelievably easy. I've sold about 10 of those now, so they are starting to sell quite good, and now it's a great Christmas gift for a lot of guys that run Toyotas, if any the wives watch this, but I highly doubt the wives watch this, but who knows. All I'm doing now is just covering up the soldered connections here with electrical tape. Sorry, I didn't realize there was out of view. Just make sure everything's electrical taped up nice and good. Because in the Derby, I don't want electrical to be the reason to take me out. So I put a lot of electrical tape on the positives just to make sure that they're nice and isolated away from everything. And then I also electrical tape up the negatives as well, just to give it that little bit extra of a barrier between themselves. So just like that, all three of them have electrical tape on them now, and the ends are bare. So what I do is I put these two plugs together because they go to roughly the same place, and then this one goes to your computer. So what I do is I take the two reds from the bottom, and I take this one from the top, and I bring them all together. But then I also bring an extra red positive out from my spool of cable so that this can go to your battery. So I just strip about 1 inch of it. And put them all together. And then we solder. Again, to solder, all we're going to do is put on our paste and then add our heat and add our flux. And our solder. And then I just cut the red wire. I try to leave it probably 18 inches long, so then that way it'll give you a nice amount of space to hook it all up. I'm just gonna put some electrical tape on if I can find it. You know, that's the problem. I put tools down and then 10 seconds later they're gone. It's like they get a mind of their own. That's why it takes me so long to build derby cars. I'm so long looking for all the sockets. I think for Christmas the wife just gets me 10 or 20 10mm sockets for all the Toyota Camrys I do, because everything's 10, 12, 14, 19, 21. Pretty much every size I need for that Toyota Camry. And there's a couple Torx, but not too much, just for the airbags on the driver's side. Other than that, everything's 8, 10, 12, 14. I think there's a couple 17s, but not very much. And 19 and 21. You can build the whole car with those tools. Nice, healthy amount of electrical tape. Now we're just going to do the same thing with all the negatives. We're going to join them together. We're going to strip off a piece of black wire from our spool. About 1 inch long. We're just going to join it together. Just like we did the last one. Join them all together, give them a good twist, then add some flux. Just like so. Now we're just going to cut the red and the black wire so they're the same length. And that's pretty much your harness built right there. All we got to do now is put a whole bunch of more tape on it, make it look pretty with some red tape, and it gets, well, this is a harness for myself, but if I was sending this out as a sold product, I'd test it. Every harness I ever built got tested before it was sent out. And how you guys knew that it was tested is the ends were stripped and they're all twisted over because I had to positive it and negative it inside my car to make sure my cars ran. Every harness I ever sold and shipped to any person that bought it was tested to make sure the car ran. It ran for about a minute. I revved it, I went in gear, make sure the car didn't die. And that's when I have people messaging me saying that their car doesn't run on my harness. And I walk them through step by step because I test every one that I make. So there you go. We have a 97 to 99 Toyota Camry harness. The last thing to do is strip the ends of both of these wires, so tomorrow's video I can go outside and I can test this harness and get a car running on it. This time the car that has the right motor for this is inside the shop. All the wiring's still in it, so I can simply just throw the harness in, put a new battery into it, turn the car over, and show you that this thing runs on this harness, because it was really cold out and it was getting dark out last time, but this time the car's already in my shop. I'm prepared for this. So make sure you guys come back tomorrow, and thanks very much for watching. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below for letting you guys know how to make your own Toyota Camry wiring harnesses. And just so everybody knows, there's more videos to come, and I'm still willing to make your harnesses for you, but I can ship it right to your door. It comes with a Zacks Workshop t-shirt, shipping included, for $100 Canadian. All you have to do is mail me your original plugs so I can make your harness for you. So if you guys are not feeling that confident in your electrical skills, don't worry. I can still make a harness for you. I can still mail it right to your door. And it comes with a Zacks Workshop t-shirt. So let me know, guys, if you want to make your own or if you just want to order one. I also sell the Toyota Camry solid motor mount on the front of your cars. So if you guys are looking to get different motor mounts for your cars, I can send those as well. I sell those for $80 Canadian. And just so you guys know, $80 Canadian's about $60 American. So you save quite a bit of money. They come unwelded. You guys can watch that video down below as well. I'll link it down in the description. So thanks everybody for watching, and make sure you come back tomorrow because we're going to be testing this harness in a car and showing you guys how it's done. This harness probably took me, let me look at the time, 25 minutes to make, I'm going to say. 25 minutes start to finish. That's not that long to build a harness that will save you 4 hours on wiring your car. When I originally started to build these, the first time that I made a harness, it probably took me about 8 hours of chasing wires, pulling wires out of the dash, bringing the fuses around from underneath the dash to inside, to removing the fuses, to joining wires together. It took me a very long time to build my first one of these, and then the car didn't even run right. So I've put a lot of time into these, and I'm willing to save you guys a lot of time. So that's how you build it for free. If you guys feel confident in your wiring, go ahead and build it at home. If you don't, send me a PM on Facebook and I'll get back to you. So thanks for watching Zacks Workshop, and we'll see you back here tomorrow, guys.